Are you recording us?
Uh-huh.
Weirdo. Are you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Troy.
And I'm Vicky.
And we are the Empty Nesters Wine. So welcome to our first ever podcast. The beginning, episode 1 of Empty Nesters Wine, our story, our history, and our adventures. So episode 1, how we started making wine. Long before there was an Empty Nesters Wine, there was a couple, Troy and Vicky. We went to Niagara Falls for a vacation. And while we were there, we took a wine tour through Canada.
Several wine tours.
Several wine tours. And somewhere in there, we decided, well, I asked Vicky, or I told Vicky, it'd be fun if we started making wine at home. And Vicky had some friends that were making wine out of a kit. She brought that up to me, and I thought that would be pretty cool. But yeah, this trip to Wine Valley in Canada was quite the trip. We go to we went to a winery, and we wanted to get a selfie of us clinking glasses like a cheers with wine glasses. And so we went to this winery and tasted several wines, very delicious wines.
They were good.
They were good. So we leave the winery and we were like, oh shoot, we forgot that selfie. So, well, there's another winery right down the road. So
yeah, they were like one right after the other.
it was Wine Valley, Niagara Falls, Canada. So anyway, we went to the second winery, and when you get there, people are talking and introducing you to the place and taking you on the tour and showing you wines. And so, we're drinking all their wines, which was several more tastings, and we got all caught up in it. And then we get in the car and we're leaving, and it was like,
shoot, we forgot it again.
We forgot the selfie. So we went to a third winery, and a fourth, and a fifth.
Oh yeah, I think we made it to like 6 or 7 before we finally got this picture. And the winery that we got it at, we didn't even like.
Yeah. Go figure. But we got our selfie.
We did.
Sent it to all of our friends. Had a great time.
Made it home safely.
So anyway, that was a really good trip. Niagara Falls was beautiful. The Canada side was amazing. The American side was amazing. We were there at just the right time for 4th of July and Canada Day. And so they shot off fireworks over the falls. And we went on a tour with some other couples. And this one couple had won some kind of contest or something. They were going to go up in this big tower, and they actually got to control the lights that shine on the falls at night. And they asked us, is there any color that you want us to put for you? And I told them purple, because it was an odd color that you don't normally see. And so Niagara Falls, the famous landmark, was lit up purple for a few seconds for me. It was fun. We went to Niagara Falls, and went to rent a car at the airport, and they had a Dodge Challenger sitting there. And I was like, oh man, that's my car right there. So we grabbed the Dodge Challenger and hot rodded around Niagara Falls for a few days. Matter of fact, that Dodge Challenger, we went through the drive-thru of a chain restaurant. What was it? Taco Bell, McDonald's, something? It was late at night.
I don't remember. We
went through the drive-thru, and I was just being silly. The guy at the drive-thru window, he says, he's handing out the food, and he's looking at the car, and he's like, man, that's a nice car. And I said, hey, you got to make sure you got everything nice for your lady. I pointed to Vicky, and he looked in the car, and he's like, right on, man, right on. It's just some young guy I was just goofing with. It was fun. So anyway, yeah, we were in. Should we stop? All right. Sorry about that background noise. We had to pause for a moment and take care of our dogs. We do have 2 dogs. One is a crazy terrier, beagle mix, and the other's just an older terrier. And the young one likes to...
Get a little rambunctious.
Yes, he likes to wrestle at the most awkward of times when we're trying to have silence. So you'll probably hear more of that. So, yeah, we came home from Niagara Falls. Vicky told me about this kit, so we went on YouTube, I think it was. We was looking at some kit ideas, and we ordered a kit, a winemaking kit from Master Vintner Wine. And it came with everything you need to start. It came with a plastic jug called a carboy that you can put all your fruit and stuff in, sugar. Fermenter, what'd I say?
Carboy.
Yeah, I'm totally wrong. We are drinking wine, by the way, so as this podcast goes, you might get a little crazy here. Yeah, it was a fermenter, a plastic jug called a fermenter, and that's where you put the yeast and the sugar and all the fruit and stuff in, and it for a couple weeks sits there and it bubbles up, and the yeast eats that fruit or that sugar and turns it all into liquor, alcohol. And it came with a glass carboy where you put it after it's done fermenting so that it sits and ages and all the debris falls to the bottom. You can filter it out. Came with wine stirring spoons and little test kits so you can test the alcohol content. It was really fun. It was really cool to learn and to get to know the kit. Yeah, if you get a chance, go to YouTube and look up Tim Vandergrift. He's the guy that does the video, the introductory video on how to use it. And that dude cracked me up, man. I think he's drunk on wine during this whole
Why not?
video. So Tim Vandergrift, very, very good one. So anyway, we ordered that and we started making wine, and it was fun. We started out with ordering the grape juice also from...
We ordered that from Amazon.
From Amazon. Oh, from Wine Expert was the company name, I think.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so we ordered a
Shiraz.
Shiraz. We ordered the
Moscato.
Moscato. Everybody
loves the Moscato.
Yes, it was very good.
That went very fast when we finally got it all made.
Yeah, so we kept ordering juices because it was fun to make, and we started piling up some bottles of wine, so we were making sure we kept our friends and family well stocked in wine.
And then Troy says, I think we should try making a batch from scratch.
Right?
So I ordered a little recipe book, and we decided on peach. Peach would be our first one.
Peach wine.
However, peach wine takes forever to make.
We didn't know that at the time. We made the peach wine, bottled the peach wine, and tasted the peach wine, and it was terrible. We got really discouraged, and we were like, man, what did we do wrong? We can't make wine.
The recipe said don't taste it for 2 years.
Yeah, so anyway, we went on with the process and blah, blah, blah. Down the road, a year later, we tasted the peach wine, and oh, check that out. It was pretty good. So, yeah, we were just a little anxious. So anyway, when we started making our own wine from scratch, I decided to make our own label. So there's very few bottles left out there with our original label, but it had a picture of Vicky and I.
For our 20th wedding anniversary.
My sister Cammie hired a photographer to come out to our property with the creek and trees in the background and take some really nice pictures of us. And so I took one of those pictures and put it on the label and called us Empty Nesters Wine, which was Vicky's idea. We sat down and talked about it and thought, what kind of name are we going to have for our wine? And she just right away just threw it out there, Empty Nesters.
Well, that was right about that time when our kids...
We're not empty nesters.
Yeah, we're not empty nesters anymore, but...
Rarely have we ever been empty nesters.
We're supposed to be.
We have 2 adult children, and they did leave the house. They came back. My sisters came back, lived with us. Yeah, we're not empty nesters anymore. Now, our son went to the military, and when he got out, he came back, and he's living with us. I think he's living with us. I see him once in a while. I think he's got a bedroom upstairs. I don't see much of him, but saving up his money so he can get him a house. So we're 75% empty nesters, maybe.
75%.
We only see him 25% of the time.
Oh, yeah.
So we made our label. We put it all together. We made some peach wine. We made some Concord wine, which was different. The peach wine, we actually got peaches, pitted them, smushed them up, put them in the fermenter. With the Concord, we just went to the store and bought Concord grape juice. And mixed it all up with some sugar and some yeast and stuff, and it came out really good. Everyone liked the Concord.
We actually did that with a few different kinds of juices. They all came out really good.
Yeah, except for the cranberry the first time.
Yeah, that's true.
We were supposed to get cranberry juice and make cranberry wine, and it did not ferment. It didn't work out. We checked the cans, and it was actually cranberry juice cocktail or something, like some kind of punch. It wasn't the stuff that we should have used, I guess.
Yeah. Cranberry juice ended up taking us, or cranberry wine ended up taking us 3 or 4 tries to get it. But this last batch we made is really good.
Go figure.
We just popped open a bottle of it the other day with a couple of friends of ours.
We made 6 gallons of cranberry wine, and it didn't come out right. So we made another 6 gallons, and it didn't work out. So we played around with it, and we only made a 1 gallon, and it came out great. So we only had 6 bottles. Usually get about 6 bottles of wine out of a gallon. So, but now we know what we're doing with cranberry. So then we got really snazzy and started mixing stuff, pear raspberry and apple mango and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So
yeah, well, some of our snazzy stuff didn't always work out.
The watermelon wine.
Oh gosh, yes. I got online to find recipes for this watermelon wine because I didn't find any in the book. There's probably a reason for that.
Everybody talks about watermelon wine. There's songs about watermelon wine.
Yeah, empty nesters will not be making watermelon wine unless we can find somebody that can really show us how. But yeah, we made 3 or 4 batches and never could get it to turn out.
We've ended up dumping
horrible.
Every batch of watermelon wine down the creek. Yeah, it smells terrible. It tastes terrible. I don't know what we're doing wrong, but we'll get it figured out sooner or later. Oh, and speaking of failures, how about that lemon wine?
Well, it's not that bad.
If you like drinking Dawn dish soap, it's not that bad. But it has to age too. Just like the peach, I got a little antsy. I tasted the lemon wine early, and I'm pretty sure you could wash dishes with it.
Probably back then you could, yes.
So we haven't tried it lately, but
we'll have to crack up a bottle.
I think we will. That'll be for our next podcast. We can crack open some lemon wine. Oh, speaking of weird failures, how about that carrot wine?
Oh, boy. Yeah, that was an interesting one.
We found someone else was making carrot wine, so I had to try it. So we got carrot wine, and or we got carrots, and we started making wine. Well, let's save that story for next podcast, episode number 2, how we decided to start a winery. At this point, we're just winemaking just for fun, hobby, having a good time. But there's a good story about this carrot wine and where it came from that led me to the idea of starting our own winery. So we'll catch you next week with that one.
Bye, guys.